You know, in crypto, fortunes can be made and lost in the blink of an eye. But what we're talking about today, this was different. We're going to break down the story of Terra, a $45 billion ecosystem that basically vanished in a single week, and its infamous founder, Do Kwon. And we're going to start right here with this quote. He named his daughter Luna after his cryptocurrency. I mean, think about that for a second. It just perfectly sets the stage for this incredible story of ambition, of genius, and ultimately, of total tragedy. Because in just 1 week, his greatest invention didn't just fail, it imploded. It wiped out an unbelievable $45 billion. And that loss didn't just hit a few investors, it sent shockwaves through the entire crypto world. So how on earth did this happen? Okay, so to really get how this all went so wrong, we have to go back to the beginning. We need to understand the vision, which honestly, on paper, was pretty brilliant. And we need to understand the man behind it all. See, this wasn't some random guy coding in a basement. Do Kwon was the real deal. He was a Stanford-educated computer scientist. He'd worked at Apple and Microsoft, the big leagues. He co-founded Terraform Labs in 2018 and was immediately seen as a superstar, even landing on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. He had the brains, and boy did he have the confidence.
Now, the big idea, the secret sauce, was this thing called an algorithmic stablecoin, UST. See, most stablecoins are backed by actual dollars in a bank account, but UST? Nope. It was designed to stay pegged to $1 using this clever, automated relationship with its sister token, Luna. It was like a delicate seesaw. If UST dipped below a buck, the algorithm would use Luna to push it back up. In theory, it was genius.
But in May of 2022, that clever little seesaw didn't just tip over. It shattered into a million pieces, and it triggered a complete death spiral that nobody saw coming. At least, not this fast. And when I say fast, I mean unbelievably fast. Look at this timeline. It all started with one big sale of UST on May 7th. By the 9th, the $1 peg was broken. And just 3 days after that, Luna, which had been worth over $100 a pop, was worthless. Zero. The whole thing was over in less than a week. So here's where it gets crazy. That algorithm, the one designed to save UST, it kicked into a catastrophic reverse. To try and prop up the price, the system went into absolute overdrive, printing new Luna tokens like there was no tomorrow. The supply just exploded, from around 350 million to, get this, 6.5 trillion. It was hyperinflation on a scale we've never seen, and it made the token's value evaporate. So, the project is in ruins, people's life savings are gone, and suddenly the focus shifts from the broken code to the guy who wrote it. The project's collapse was immediately followed by this dramatic, international downfall of its founder. After the crash, Do Kwon just disappeared. He became an international fugitive. An arrest warrant was issued in South Korea, they tracked him to Serbia, and then, finally, they arrested him in Montenegro trying to use fake passports. The manhunt was over. And it all ended with a very real 15-year prison sentence in the US. And the charges just tell you how serious this was. This wasn't treated like some startup that failed. A US federal grand jury hit him with a whole list of charges, accusing him of orchestrating a massive, multi-billion-dollar securities fraud. This was big time. But here's where the story gets really weird. It doesn't just end with a dead project and a founder in jail. You know, in crypto, sometimes even things that are supposed to be dead, they don't quite stay buried. The original blockchain is still out there, kind of like a digital ghost. So what happened was the project forked, basically splitting into two. The original developers just moved on, started a new chain called Terra 2.0, but the old failed chain, it got renamed Terra Classic, and its token became LUNC. It's basically a zombie chain, kept alive by this incredibly dedicated community of investors who just refuse to give up on it. And this new community, they have one mission, one almost obsessive focus. They want to undo the damage of that hyperinflation. Their entire comeback plan is built around tackling that insane 6.5 trillion token supply. And their master plan is something called a token burn. The idea is actually pretty simple. You just permanently destroy tokens by sending them to a wallet address that nobody can ever access again. It's a way to reduce the supply. And the hope is that by making the tokens more scarce, the ones that are left will become more valuable. Now, these burns are happening in a couple of ways. There's a small tax on every single transaction, which creates this slow, steady burn over time. But the ones that really get everyone excited are the massive, voluntary burns from crypto exchanges like Binance. They'll burn a chunk of their trading fees, and that's what causes these huge, short-term price spikes that keep the hope alive for the community.
This whole focus on burning has turned LUNC into a kind of lottery ticket for speculators. It's a long shot bet on this miraculous comeback. But let's take a look at the sobering math behind that dream. What are the odds, really?
And this, right here, this is the ultimate question. This is the dream that fuels that entire community. Can LUNC actually recover? Can it ever get back to just one single dollar?
Well, the math is it's brutal. For LUNC to hit just 1 penny, its total market value would have to hit $55 billion. That would make it bigger than most of the top 20 cryptos out there right now. And to get to $1, the market cap would have to be $5.5 trillion. That's bigger than the entire crypto market combined. So for now, it's just mathematically impossible. So when you put all the pieces together, what have we got? You've got this amazing community effort fighting against the ghost of a historic collapse, the shadow of a convicted founder, and a supply problem that is frankly just mind-bogglingly huge. Which leaves us with one last, really fascinating question. The story of LUNC isn't really about technology anymore, is it? It's become this huge social experiment. It's a high-stakes bet on whether pure collective belief can actually rewrite history. Can a community overcome impossible odds? Or are they just chasing a ghost in the machine? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.